Hi, this is Mythic Helya from a range point of view. This is for the Chosen achievement. You'll notice 3 markers down there. The purple marker is for the main tank, the moon is for the melee, but the red X, red stands for range, so all the range and healers are going to go there. Ranged have to deal with the first real mechanic that comes. Right after the first breath, it's a good idea to have Helya focus targeted. And you notice right after she gets this cast off here that will only hit the tank, she'll start a Corrupted Orb Slicer right now, and then we start moving as soon as the cast starts. We don't wait for it to finish. Meanwhile, you want to dodge those green swirls, and right after we soak these, all the range and the melee that can want to soak the brown puddles. It's where the tentacles are going to hit. We want to split that damage. The tank that's the main tank that taunts right now is going to soak the tentacle all the way on the left. But you'll notice me see that green tentacle right after I mass a spell because I'm a shadow priest. It's a good idea for shadow priests or any priest to spell if you see multiple things on. Multiple debuffs on, you want to get inside those brown puddles to split the damage. The melee run their Corrupted Orb Slicer, and then usually if your DPS is good enough, you don't need to be back on the red X. If your DPS is really slow, you'd have to get on the red X again if you get another slicer, but our DPS isn't that low. We kill those ads because it was low enough to get a second breath, which we often skip, but this is just a practice run. Then we get onto this Mist Caller. You don't interrupt that unless you're assigned to. Execute that thing as quickly as possible. Then when the special mobs spawn, we want to get those down. Notice how we're not DPSing those tentacles yet. We don't want to start in the tentacles until both the Mistwatcher and the either Grimelord or Mariners are dead. If you have Fetid Rot, make sure you never stand next to anyone, and when the Anchor Slam comes, make sure you don't stand next to the tank. When those 2 tentacles get killed together, the first 2 tentacles, that's always the ones at the top. This is the second tentacle I'm DPSing right now. That's in the bottom front. As a ranged, I stay up on the platform. You don't have to, but it's just there's no reason to go down. The little ads there, little skeleton ads that die and spawn a puddle right when they die, there is no need to stress about those. You can basically ignore them and let them get cleaved down. They can't be tanked, and they don't do any damage, so just don't worry about running from them. But as soon as you kill that second set of tentacles, you can start lightly DPSing the third tentacle. We decide to just go ahead and get ours killed before the next boat comes with special ads. Then we start on the 4th tentacle right here. One of the sides has a Mistwatcher up that wasn't getting killed in time. So if you notice these repeated waves, these usually should not happen. It's because people were not focusing an ad on one of the sides. We kill the special ads before we kill tentacles. And then we go ahead, and since the tentacles are close and we're going to kill these before the Mistwatcher, we execute these last tentacles again at the same time. Ranged and healers during phase 3, which happens right when that 4th set of tentacles dies, have to go all the way to the X, so make sure you're ready to sprint there as quickly as possible. The Corrupted Orb Slicer is going to come in about 3 seconds here. You want to turn around right when the cast starts. You start running, and melee are going to be on the moon ready for their Corrupted Orb Slicer, which is right after this. I'm not targeted with the slicer, so I sprint to these little purple swirls to soak these. If you don't soak the purple swirls, the entire array gets mind controlled. We lust. The melee are moving their Corrupted Orb Slicer right now. I should already be back on the red X if you're a healer too. I'm out of position. And so this could have killed people if I got targeted by the Orb Slicer. So there's the ranged Orb Slicer, and then the melee Orb Slicer is going to happen pretty much at the same time as the next breath, which makes it really hard for melee to soak those breaths unless they're positive that they're not targeted. So that job falls primarily to the ranged. So I'm standing here waiting for the melee orb, and there's enough people running to go soak the purple swirls. I should be going help just in case, but I just saw enough people running, so I just decided to go stack onto the ranged orb here, which is going to happen before she dies. So ranged and healers need to be back over here. There's another orb slicer. Either run straight to the back if you're targeted, or run to the right. I wasn't targeted, so I decided to just run to the center. So that I could have a better sight line on everything that's going on. There's another melee orb slicer, which will kill people after she's dead, but fortunately the boss is already dead, and then that's the fight.